Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Timothy Carter.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. We're going to talk about how to set realistic SEO goals. SEO obviously is a popular strategy, once confined to the realms of the tech-based companies and major corporations with sizable budgets and dedicated departments. Today the access and availability of resources and obviously, the broadened benefits of SEO and link building, that's made SEO a top choice for businesses of all shapes, sizes, and industries. A major part of the appeal is the sheer potential of the strategy. With time and effort, it really is easily possible to build up to earning thousands of visitors per month. However, this appeal sometimes morphs into a lust. The desire to pursue SEO as a strategy becomes something like a get-rich-quick scheme, or the idea of thousands of inbound visitors takes precedent over the realistic and patient applications of SEO tactics and best practices. Inevitably, entrepreneurs possessed by this rampant desire end up disappointed, feeling that the strategy wasn't worthwhile because it failed to meet their expectations. Without goals, it's nearly impossible to objectively measure your progress, but with too lofty or unfounded goals, you'll only set yourself up for really a skewed sense of disappointment. Setting realistic goals is the remedy for this problem, and really there are 3 rules to do it effectively. 1, obviously factor in your available resources. Your goals need to be grounded in your means to achieve them. That seems obvious, but to many entrepreneurs and marketers new to SEO, building rank is akin to switching on a light. You're either making progress or you aren't. But SEO simply doesn't work that way. Instead, the amount of effort and the type of effort you put into it has a direct impact on the eventual results you'll achieve. Therefore, if you're only investing a few minutes a day in your campaign or a few $100s a month, your marketing budget, it would be unreasonable to set a goal that a large company with an entire dedicated SEO team and link building budget might set. So there are several of these factors you'll have to keep in mind. First and foremost, obviously consider the man hours you're pouring into your efforts. Are you doing this for yourself in short bursts? Do you have 1 dedicated person? 5? Next, consider how many outlets you're using in conjunction with your SEO campaign, including how much, on-site content are you creating, off-site content, link building, and how many social platforms are you using. Finally, be realistic about your expertise. If this is your first company or your first time launching an SEO campaign in this industry, be more conservative with your goal setting. Really, there's no objective way to go about this early on, but do make sure to temper your expectations with the type of effort you're putting forth. Number 2, use long time periods and relative measurements. This is almost really 2 goals in one, but they're both related to the way you measure your goals. First, use long periods of time to measure your progress. Don't look for rapid climbs and growth in the span of a few days or a few weeks. Instead, you'll have to look at periods of months, quarters or more, because this is, it takes a long time for SEO to really establish results depending on your competition, the age of your site, how optimized your site is. It's really important also to use long periods of time to compare against each other. For example, it's better to compare a first 3 months with a second 3 months than 1 month to a second month. This is because traffics and rankings, they fluctuate, obviously, sometimes randomly, and could skew your data if you're only using a small sample size. Also factor in, Google algorithm updates as well. Relative measurements, are also important. Rather than, aiming for an objective goal, such as getting, 1,000 visitors a month by September, aim for something less concrete, like at least a 10% visitor growth month over month until September. Using firm numbers can sometimes blind you to, otherwise substantial progress. And then third, and obviously not last and not least, would be to make adjustments. You would think that's common sense, but under most circumstances, your goal should not be changed. You set a goal at the beginning of a given period and follow that goal to the end. In the world of SEO, it's okay to make adjustments throughout the course of your ongoing strategy. And it's because your strategy is ongoing. It's a fluid process that undergoes nearly constant changes, so it only makes sense your goals and expectations, they should change along with those circumstances. Let's say you've set a goal to increase your monthly organic traffic by 25% within the first 4 months of your campaign. In month 2, you bring on a new freelance writer to increase your on-site content and social media efforts. At that point, it would be reasonable to increase the expectations of your goal. On the other hand, let's say in month 2, Google releases a new algorithm change that sets you back several positions on a number of targeted keyword topics. At that point, you may need to lower your expectations. So really, as we wrap this up, SEO is an ongoing strategy, and in order to be successful, you'll have to create ongoing dynamic goals. They can and should change as you learn more about where your company fits and how your strategy is developing. When it comes time to evaluate your progress, compare your real results to your target results, but don't sum everything up as a hit or not hit. Instead, really take a look at the factors responsible for you meeting or not meeting that goal, and use those factors to shape your strategy for the next period of time. Eventually, you will arrive at a pace and understanding that will allow you to adeptly measure your impact and find the greatest possible level of success for your campaign. Speaking of campaigns, if you need a campaign for on-site content or overall SEO strategy to improve your rankings, come on over to SEO.co and schedule a time to have a free consultation. Learn how we can help you scale your ability to outright and outrank your competition.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.